Hello, everybody. I'm here. I'm going to bring in Kirk and Rick. 1 second. Here we go. Hey, we're all here.
Yay.
Yeah.
1 second. I think I forgot to close the door. 1 second.
All right.
Did you see my little new intro I made?
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
Hold on.
Help. Merry Christmas.
Sorry about that.
I thought that was me.
I was going into the live stream, and yeah, let's hope that doesn't get you demonetized. But I was going into the live stream on my older computer, and yeah, that showed up as the ad. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. I was stuck in the screen there. Hey, so we had one person there. I don't know if she left. That was Sandra. So Sandra, if you're still there, hi. Oh, I need to open up on a second computer. Hold on 1 second. Y'all discuss. Hey, there's Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Oh my goodness, it's going to make me sign in here. Hang on, guys.
Please be patient, everyone. This is all new for all of us, mainly me. Hopefully, I'm not echoing into anyone's ear.
Nope.
Not that I can hear anyway.
Good. It's here.
All right, sweet.
Hey, Sandra, there she is. How is everyone? Glad to have you with us. Whiskey Musings is with us today. Yay!
Yeah. Oh, Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain, have I got something for you.
Okay.
We'll get to it here in
A
just
beer? You got a beer for me?
Oh, I wish I could send one to you. That would be kind of cool.
That's okay. I don't really like beer. So.
Alcohol. Anyway.
That's a little bit.
Well, I mean, either that or I could just go ahead and jump right in with it if you want. It's kind of up to you.
Maybe we can wait for people to show up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Got to wait for people to show up, of course. Well, let me go ahead and see if I can get this prepped, just in case here.
Oh, you're going to display some stuff? All right.
Yeah, I am. That's the plan, anyway. We'll see if it actually works. It should, but...
Okay, telling Kirk I need to get him a Twitter so he can be Captain Unicorn and
I will never quit.
Well, you might want to check. You might want to check on that because somebody may already have that.
I was thinking the same thing. So let's see.
Oh, here. Yeah, this will work. This should work just fine. So anyway, so real quick, just because of the fact that, we're kind of waiting on people to show up. So I'm going to ask this question. So Addie, let's go ahead and just kind of set this up. As far as things, I know trials are not happening now, but if you can think back of all the trials that you've covered, everything that you have watched and seen, if you were to rank the number one trial that somebody brand new to watching trials would really want to watch, which one would it be?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. That's a good question for the room too. Hey, room, help absolutely. Me out. We got almost everybody in here are all the trial watchers. OJ was a good one. That was actually one of the first ones that I ever saw.
The OJ
trial. Yeah. Okay. But as far as what we've covered on, since I came into being a worker of a network, trial, good one. It depends on where you want to go. There are so many avenues. If you want to stay away from things that have to do with children, then you kind of, you go towards a really good one was the MacGyver trial. I have to type it in. Somebody,
MacGyver.
Yeah, his Tracy,
Not that MacGyver.
Not that MacGyver. No.
Okay.
I always forget first names. I think it's spelled MCIVER.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, and Jodi Arias, that was one of the first ones I got
Jodi Arias.
really into, kind of.
And
She
if
was
anybody
nuts.
in the chat room can remember the first name of MacGyver, that would be most helpful. You think I'd know? My memory is crap. So Jodi Arias is another one. That one was actually probably my, if you're going to call it a favorite, that was a favorite for me.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that one of our chatters will know the first name to the MacGyver trial. But we had a real hard one. Was one that involved a child. That one probably messed me up more than any trial. It was a baby. Those baby trials I can't do. That one was his little baby Sterling.
Tex MacGyver?
Yes, Tex MacGyver. That's it. See?
MacGyver. Okay.
Did I spell that name right, Kirk?
MC Ivor, yeah.
Yeah, I did spell it right. That's what I thought.
Okay. Well, I'll have to kind of write that down and maybe go ahead and take a look at some of that. So
we have those trials are in our archives on that other site.
Oh, right, the other side. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. So okay, I will definitely take a look and look that one up. So, ironically, in preparation. Not necessarily preparation for the show, but apparently the Big Brother is watching and listening because I was on Twitter and I was kind of looking around and there was, or maybe it was Facebook. Anyway, I'm getting old too, so some of this stuff I don't get. But on there was an article or an ad that talked about the movie trials that got it right versus ones that, just kind of fake through it or whatever. And one of the ones that I thought was kind of interesting was like the My Cousin Vinny. Was that My Cousin Vinny is very, very real to life in terms of how a trial happens. So, I was doing a little research and I remember My Cousin Vinny. I mean, it's a fabulous movie. I loved it. But, I was just wondering if I could just ask that question of you. Would you agree with that? Would you say My Cousin Vinny, seeing all the laws, the trials that you've seen, are they, is that movie fairly close to what you would see in real life?
How about I post that to the room because I have not seen My Cousin Vinny.
You're doing great, hon. No,
all right.
So Rick,
No.
did you watch Legal Eagle?
Legal Eagle. I remember.
No, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, no.
He actually covers trials in movies, and that was one of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's like you when what's her name? Oh God, his sister or something. She was the car mechanic, and the prosecuting attorney was questioning her to validate her expertise on cars.
Oh yes,
And Legal Eagle is saying, you don't ask a question you don't already know the answer to.
Right.
And clearly he did not know the answer.
Well, no, I think he did. He just wasn't expecting her to be able to come up with the answer in such a succinct and very in your face kind of way. From that standpoint, at least that's the feeling that I got from the actor. So,
okay, well, I will have to watch that now.
And the biggest faux pas in almost all movies is lawyers approaching the well without asking.
Oh yeah, I do know that. I do recall some of that from, I did in high school. I did actually take a few, law kind of classes, law and crime. In fact, one of my instructor at the time, she was a former police officer, sheriff, actually, from what I can remember. She's just this little gal too, which was kind of surprising to me. But she had been a sheriff for a little while, and I can still remember her face because I'm a lot better with faces than I am with names. But I can remember her face. I just cannot remember her name at all. But we went through a bunch of little trials and stuff like that, a bunch of stuff. I mean, Miranda, where it came from, that kind of stuff. So I was exploring the idea of becoming a lawyer, saw how much it took, and said no.
Yes, yeah. I call myself the armchair lawyer. The 13th juror.
Armchair isn't everybody here an armchair lawyer?
Yes, we all are.
Well, we're armchair quarterbacks too, so
I've been asked many times, where do I have a law degree? Because I know I can communicate better in typing and chat than I can verbally, so I tend to say a lot more in chat, and they'll say, "Are you no, I'm not a lawyer. I've just been doing this a long time, with watching and that kind of thing, and you just pick stuff up." And talking to a lot of my friends are all lawyers, so.
Right. Well, that kind of makes sense, I guess, in however long you've been doing this, and to be honest, I don't really know right off the top of my head, but for however long you've been doing this, I would assume that you would have no other choice but to pick up a lot of the lingo and the jargon. So you could probably sound really good when it comes to doing the law and the lawyer kind of thing. So
yeah, I started trial watching with Jodi Arias really full time.
Okay.
That was the very first trial. I don't know if you know who Jodi Arias is.
No, I don't, but that's okay. I'll look him up.
Yeah. Her.
Oh, see? Okay.
She killed her boyfriend. He was sort of an ex sort of thing, and she showed up and killed him. She's she got LWOP. She was up
life without parole.
Yeah, she was up for murder or death penalty, but she got LWOP instead. She got that one juror.
Yeah, that's something I've never really understood. I mean, I understand, the value of human life, but one thing that just doesn't make sense is if you're, if you're sentenced to 100 years plus whatever, I mean, life without parole, I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like it's a very interesting way to sentence somebody, knowing that they're never ever going to get out. So they're going to spend their life behind bars. I mean, other than the fact that this person, does live, I guess I'm kind of hung on the point of, well, wouldn't it just be easier just to send them to death row and just let them go and that'll be it? I mean, isn't it like?
I've heard it's more expensive to put someone on death row than to put them in for life.
Really?
It's more
interesting
because you have an automatic appeal just because it's a death sentence.
Yes, it costs more to go through with and complete the death penalty from the beginning to the end than it does for a prison to house an inmate for the rest of their lives. So,
really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting.
Kirk, mute. Mute your phone.
Sorry, we got pizza coming.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Somebody got beeped. Anyway. All right. Well, I mean, I won't go into some of my thoughts because I tend to be a very, very black and white individual, and these shades of gray are a little rough for me to handle in some cases. So
I wanted to put Michelle's comment up there. It says they need to execute sooner. Texas, I think so far since we've been doing this, Texas is the quickest that I've noticed from the time somebody puts or gets, is put on death row to the time of the execution is the quickest.
Yeah,
they don't mess around.
Yeah, the comedian Ron White actually has that as a part of his act. He's like, most states, they want to abolish the death penalty. My state's putting in an express lane. That's what he says. So, um, yeah. Anyway.
And Kiki, no, I did not bring enough pizza for everyone. Sorry.
Well, in this day and age, we really need to figure out the whole replicator thing from like Star Trek so that we
Yes.
can, or even just the transporters, just to be able to transport food, beer, wine, whatever. Notice two of those were alcohol.
No, it's pizza. Sorry.
Rick, I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Are you? I'm going to throw this question out there. Are you pro death penalty or against the death penalty?
I'm pro. I'm pro death penalty. And the reason being is because I think that our society has certain rules, and this goes for just about anything in terms of crime. From my perspective, society has certain rules, and if you can't live within those rules, and you do things for no reason, essentially, and especially if it can be proven that you're not 100% there altogether, in terms of being able to fit within society, that having a methodology to basically vanquish evil, I think, is really a big benefit. Now, that being said, I also do value life. So having the death penalty does kind of bring that up. But realistically, the only way that you'll ever be on death row or get the death penalty is if you've already done something that is so heinous that realistically that is the only punishment available for you. So
serial rapists, serial killers.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, obviously the crime has to fit, but at a certain point, the punishment there is no certain punishment that someone can give that is able to take the place of just taking you out of this world and sending you on to meet your maker, kind of thing, whichever way you end up going. Or even if you believe in any of that stuff, maybe just send him to the next cycle. I don't know, whatever it is. But I think that there are certain points in society today that we need to make sure that, these individuals who truly are not wired to live within society, that we don't have to worry about it necessarily.
Yeah, a lot of us call it the worst of the worst. That's usually how, when I look at a trial, I'll look at the person, and now I see it as this person did worse than that guy. This guy harmed a kid, that kind of thing. But some other people don't see it. I have friends who are absolutely against the death penalty, and I have no problem with that at all. I kind of look at it as, is this person bad enough to where that, like you're saying, that's the only way, that you can't put him back out into society. You can't have that out roaming the streets and LWOP, then you put him in with everybody else. Now, prisons have their own justice. So a lot of those who have done the worst of the worst, if it's against a certain, like children or anything like that, spouses or anything like that, they will take care of that themselves.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. And I've heard about that. Obviously there are certain crimes that just sort of go against even like a criminal's code of honor in certain ways, I guess, is the best way that I can think of offhand just to describe it. So, understandably, there are certain crimes and that type of stuff that definitely warrant those sort of actions. I don't think it necessarily brings closure to the family like what you would think it would. But unfortunately, there really isn't any other way for us to be able to do anything. Now, if they were to invent a way to like rewire someone, go under the hood and like take apart the brain and then rewire them and be able to prove that that might work and you might be able to put them into society, then, I might reconsider. But as of this point, we don't have any way of correcting those types of individuals, and so sometimes there's just no other choice. You have no other way of retribution, I guess, in certain ways for or fixing or anything like that. So yeah,
I'd like to comment on here a poetic justice as I'm trying to remember if Chris Watts got DP. They've already answered it in the chat, but I wanted to put that over here and say it on the live part. He exchanged. He took a plea. He took LWOP and was therefore death penalty was taken off the table. So he's now. I don't know if you know who Chris Watts is. He murdered his 2 children and his wife. That was recent, within the last couple of years.
Okay.
He there's a case that is a hard one for a lot of people. A lot of people wanted to see him go down because of the circumstance of the little babies. They were little kids. Another one that's being mentioned is there she is. Tracy mentions Donald Smith. He murdered a little girl named Cherish Periwinkle, and Cherish Periwinkle, which she was the cutest little girl. She was from Jacksonville, Florida. And when we went there 2 years ago, when I met my biological family, we were at the Walmart where she was abducted from. He had abducted her from a Walmart, and she was found later on. And he is one who I do believe he got death. He got the DP. He'll probably be on death row forever. He was an old guy, and that was a bad one.
Well, I'm actually.
Yes. Oh, sorry. He was, and Tracy also says that he was a registered predator, and that is true. Yes.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Well, if I can just take a couple of moments here, I know this is supposed to be Fun Friday, but then again, I mean, this is,
No, this is really good. This is the most focused we've been on Fridays because this really was supposed to be law and crime type discussions about court trials.
We don't say that
and
anymore.
We can say it. We just can't promote it as the name of the channel.
Oh, okay.
So we can say law and crime.
Okay.
Law and crime.
So let's move on. I don't want the two of you to be fighting in the background.
That'll be later.
I don't want to know anything about what you're planning on doing later. Thank you very much for that. Wow.
You know what day it is.
Okay, so get us back on topic here. Kirk, I don't know if you were even in the area, but if you don't mind, if I can just take a few minutes and relay a story. First of all, let me ask, is that okay? Is that okay, Addie?
You do. Yeah, you do you.
All right. So back when I was in elementary school, and my sister, who's about 3 years older than me, we were at this elementary school, and she was actually friends with this individual. So anyway, it was one of the most gruesome things that I think I've ever encountered. So here's the story. This young girl went over to a friend's house, and she was supposed to go over there and just, join up with the friend and that kind of stuff. Well, she ended up disappearing, and nobody really knew at first where she was, what happened. They could trace her to the friend's house, but they could not figure out her steps after that. And, after several days of searching and trying to find, they eventually found, and this is going to be a little disgusting, but they eventually found her body in a trash bag cut up in the woods.
Right.
And what had transpired as they went through the investigation and everything else, and from what they can piece together, this young girl went over to her friend's house. She went and knocked on the door. The parents weren't home. Neither was the young girl, because the young girl was wherever. I don't know where she was, but the older brother was. And the older brother, who was 17 at the time, was basically got irritated because he kept telling the little girl, supposedly, that her friend wasn't home, or his sister wasn't home, and she kept ringing the doorbell and kept bothering him because she didn't believe him. Well, he apparently snapped, and he used a hockey stick to do the deed. That was my first interaction. And you got to remember, if my sister was in elementary school, I was like mid, because she was up in the upper elementary ages. So I was in mid to early elementary school at the time. And the trial and everything else, I mean, this was a person that basically lived, just a few blocks away. Realistically, I mean, I knew where the house was and everything, but to have that impact me as a young child that much, and to have that happen in our neighborhood, it was just gruesome. Now, the challenge here, of course, is that the kid was 17, and so at the time, I don't think that the county or the state, because this did happen in Oregon, but the county and the state actually, I don't think, had the point where they could try him as an adult. So my understanding is he went off to juvenile hall, and then 21, he ended up leaving. Now, I don't remember any other facts about this. I don't remember the name. I don't.
So this is like early 80s.
Yeah. So this is, well, it might even been like late 70s. Yeah, late 70s. Like probably, let's see, probably
I
like
was in third grade in 80.
Okay, so yeah, so it could have been, because that would have meant that she was in sixth. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I remember I was in elementary school. So honestly, I really can't remember, but that was, I think, the very first gruesome thing that I had ever done or ever heard about.
Yeah, don't say done.
To have that implanted in my brain to the point where I am at the age that I am today, and that still, even those little details that, supposedly kids are not supposed to remember all this stuff, but even those little details just are burned into my brain so much that I can remember that. And I can still go back and remember, the weeks of the searching, and the dogs were all over the place. And there was parts in the woods that I used to go to play, and build forts and stuff. And they searched all through those woods and everything else. I mean, they were looking all over the place. So,
so you say about 1980?
Yeah, could have been right around there. I don't remember.
Sorry, I just found this website called Murderpedia.
Yeah, yeah. Be careful, Kirk.
Yeah, I would be careful going down that path, because there's some definite nasty stuff there.
Yeah, I deal with I see, as most of the people that are in our chat know, I love forensics. I love autopsies. I love anything that has to do with any of that. I have no issue with nothing. I think the only time I've ever had a problem with anything, and I do have to, in my editing, I have to edit out photos sometimes, because on our, where I work, we don't show bodies on it. So I have to cut that out or blur it over or whatever. But right. I've seen, a lot of us are like, yeah, we're okay, we can handle it and that kind of thing. But if you're weak in the stomach or whatever, Murderpedia is a big one. Or be careful going around there. I was just trying to Google it and see if I could find anything on a hockey stick thing.
The city, if it'll help, the city was Beaverton. So Beaverton, Oregon. It was in that area. But anyway, so yeah, so there's that one. That was that hit really close to home. As far as, now, I didn't know the family. I knew where they lived, but I didn't know the family. But anyway,
Hmm.
So people are
Wow.
asking questions. Like
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
Tracy is asking about Scott Peterson.
let's see. Tracy, where are you? Let me hold on. Oh,
Middle.
wait. There you go. She's asking, what do y'all think about Scott Peterson getting an appeal? That's coming up soon. We'll be seeing a hearing on that, I do believe. That'll be something to keep an eye out for. Like I always say, watch for Kathy Russin's Twitter for when any info comes out. Just a heads up on that. Scott Peterson, there's one. That guy, I need to go back and refresh myself on exactly.
He murdered his wife, right? Or
Right.
murdered his wife.
Yes. He
put her on a boat, dropped her off in the lake somewhere.
That right? Was it, yes. Mm-hmm. But he's got he gets to go for an appeal. I think didn't he get the chattel? No, he got death penalty, right? Or did he had to get death penalty, or was it something else? Do you remember, Michelle? I can't remember, but whatever, a pregnant wife.
Oh yeah.
So.
And then, like immediately after, he was hooking up with somebody else.
Right. He was not. No, he had a girlfriend while his wife was pregnant.
During the time, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Maybe thinking about. Hold on, let me look. Scott.
Way to go, Rick.
What?
I don't know.
What? I got everything. What? I mean, look at your shot. I told you.
I know. This is amazing.
I was going to take this channel over, and guess what? I have done it.
Yeah.
I have done it, my man.
Yes.
And you know nothing about trials.
She was pregnant with a little boy named Connor, and the girl that he was had on the side, her name was Amber. I believe at the time, at first, the chat will correct me, but I don't remember. I think Amber Fry at first didn't know, or he had told her he was getting a divorce, and she ended up turning on him, I believe. Isn't that correct? I think that's if I remember correctly. But anyway, if he gets an appeal, hey, if he gets an appeal, it just means more trial, right? Trial watchers love that. See? So
that's one thing that I've never really understood was the whole process, the appellant process. And in specifics, I mean, just from my limited knowledge and understanding, is mainly dealing with the appellate process, but how they can appeal and then have that turned down, and then appeal again, have that one turned down, appeal again, that one turned down, appeal again. I mean, I know you get like a certain number, but right. For me, it's like if you don't have something concrete that demonstrates that you either were not given a proper trial within the Constitution, laws, and any other laws dealing with the state and everything else, or that you don't have, or that you have new evidence that would dramatically affect the outcome, I honestly believe maybe one appeal, and that's it. You get one shot. That's it. You've already been through the trial, unless there's something extremely damaging that could totally reopen the case. That's it. You get one shot. And I see Michelle's saying 3 appeals unless there's new evidence. And, again, I mean, from a procedural standpoint, I think it would make things a little bit easier from that moment. Now, keep in mind, I'm taking that tact from someone who realistically, outside of speeding tickets and that, I've never crossed the law. So from that standpoint, I mean, realistically, it's kind of tough to think about being able to have all of these processes and appeals and things like that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, that's absolutely. So let me check and see what we got going on in chat. Anybody got any questions? Anything you want us to state? Just type it in and I'll throw it up there.
Okay, so who all is enjoying Rick right now?
I had no idea Rick liked trial stuff.
I am a man of many facets. It takes a while for me to open up the plethora of avenues that I could go.
Ooh, using big words.
Well,
Would you say I have a of piñatas?
A plethora of pinatas, and all of them.
Oh,
get
yes, you have a
There you go.
plethora.
All right.
all right. So what I want to know, let's move away from trials for 1 second, because I want to know more about how you and Kirk met.
Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Kirk, you and I.
We didn't really meet until high school, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was about mid high school. I think I was a junior. I think we were juniors, maybe. Might have been sophomores. But anyway, I don't really recall the exact moment that we met, but the funny thing is there are certain people in your life that you meet, and the minute that you meet them, you just know. You've got this feeling, this understanding, and he and I just connected on a very, very strange level mentally and that kind of thing. And so, it manifested itself into this little trick that we do. And granted, the last time that we met, yes, I was off. Okay. I'm going to admit it. I was off. All right. But it manifested itself in this little trick that we did. And essentially what it was is that we would come up to each other and we would, put our hands out like to shake. But the difference was one of us had the correct hand. The other one had the opposite hand. So that we basically looked like we were a mirror image.
Yeah.
And what would end up happening is it would take like maybe half a heartbeat or something like that. And we would both shake, like literally shake our bodies.
Okay, here's how it went. Say, okay, shake.
Yeah.
Put the hand up and then you shake.
Yeah.
It's just one of those bro things, right?
Yeah, and it just clicked. I mean, it was one of those things that we could do it consistently. We could do it consistently. Hey, you know what? He is a very sexy man. All right, let's just put it out there. I mean, seriously,
Wait,
Addie,
who?
He had to, he had to see something in the guy.
Okay. Wait. You guys have seen pictures of me, right?
Oh wait, no. Hold on. Oh, this is good. This is really good. You mind if I throw this up here?
Put him big.
Yeah, sure.
Make Rick big, will you please?
Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. No, I don't want to kick you out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but
Let me see. I've never done this before. How about
No, yeah, there you go. Okay, now I'm big. All right. So here we go, guys. This is.
Wait, hold on. Let me take this thing off the screen first. There you go.
Okay, so hold on here. Yeah. I just want to. I want it to. I want an application window. Here we go. All right. Let's see if it pops up. Yep, there it is.
Can you tell which one is which, y'all?
Okay, so obviously Kirk is at the top. I mean, seriously, he was the, sexiest man alive.
Oh, please.
No. And then I'm just a little bit down at the bottom.
Okay, the girls in between us, it's my harem.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't remember you ever dating any of them. I know
No. Okay. Well, I didn't broadcast it, and it didn't go beyond one date. So,
okay.
Susan was first.
No names. Just
I can say the first name.
Okay.
Susan was first. We went to see a movie. I can't remember what the movie was, and she just wanted to be friends. Fine. I always thought Dawn was out of my league. And there was Chris and Heidi. Heidi was first. Took her to Homecoming, where we hooked up with a friend, and she had a limousine, so that was a fun night. But again, that's a whole other story with Heidi. Then there was Chris at prom because neither of us had a date, so I figured, hey, let's just go together. But I was hopeful for something, but didn't happen. So, anywho, that's that.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to be completely honest. So he had this harem, and as you can tell, this is graduation night. So we're all in our graduation gear. But he had this harem, and they were all seniors. I had a harem too, but all of mine were like sophomores and juniors. So yeah, it was just, now granted, I was friends with these ladies, and there are 5 of them there if you can't count the white dots. But I was friends with these ladies, but as far as like, I had no real interest in any of them really in that kind of a romantic sense. But we all hung out. We all went to the same youth group. We all did a lot of the same, things for the most part, running around, hanging out at school, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was definitely some interesting times.
There you go, Kirk. The unicorn is on top.
So there's your little surprise, your little gift. I'll be honest with you. I actually I have a vivid memory of a picture that we took where you were. It was at a party that I held. And I, for some reason, I wanted it to be like a costume party. And this costume party, it was like the 3rd or 4th one that month. So everybody was pretty much played out on costume parties. But I remember you showing up as Paddington Bear. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, I know I can recall 2. One, I was Raggedy Ann, not Raggedy Andy, Raggedy Ann. You have to subvert expectations. Okay? That's why I'm Captain Unicorn.
He's been a trendsetter all of his life. And for as long as I've known him, he is not afraid to push the boundaries and make it his own.
I will make a fool of myself for anything. Okay.
And so far, it's all gone off really well.
No, it's his charisma. It's his natural aura and sense. He can pull off just about anything. I mean, look at the unicorn. Okay? I mean, just saying.
Let's see.
And by the way, if you could take that unicorn horn and wrap it with like blue painter's tape, that would alleviate the green screen problem that you guys have, where it disappears.
Weird.
Yep.
We could paint it pink.
The unicorn. Unicorn comes out on special occasions or when I feel like it.
I got to admit, I was halfway expecting you to wear it today, but whatever.
No, it's a little warm here today. I'll be sweating like crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I'm standing here in shorts. Go figure. Anyway, which is really weird because we're on opposite sides of the state and you tend to get warmer than I do. Yeah. So, but anyway. Yeah, so
that's the one thing I miss about Portland. I actually miss the rain.
Really?
It rains a lot more in Portland than it does here.
Oh, well, yes.
But we get more snow. That's
true. That is true.
Because hell, it rains on 4th of July damn near every year.
There you go, Kirk.
Oh, it doesn't actually turn summer until after the 4th.
Right.
So,
Poetic Justice says, I'm going to be a giraffe. Captain Unicorn encouraged me.
There you go.
Hey,
now, are you going onesie or the blow up? Because there's different levels. Okay, the blow up is full on commitment because it gets hot in there real fast. So that generally comes out only in the winter time.
Did you see the other day on the news, a grandma went out in a pink unicorn blow-up suit like Kirk's? His is white, but hers is pink. so that she could hug all her grandkids. They came running. She went out, just walking down the street, and the grandkids saw her and came running to her. That's her way of getting, being able to be around her grandkids. She hadn't seen them in like 2.5 months or whatever.
Well, you've seen the ones. You've seen the ones of the grandma and grandpa actually that dress up as a T-Rexes, and their grandkids. There were 2 of them. Met them at the airport dressed up as T-Rexes as well. And so you see these T-Rexes, and they're like coming at each other, and they're trying to hug each other, and they can't because they got the little arms, all that stuff. But anyway, check it out. I think there's a YouTube video that has that. They've got the whole blow up thing, but it was, I guess the story was the grandkids really loved T-Rexes, and so grandma and grandpa got T-Rex costumes, and went ahead and got off the plane with them.
There you go, Kirk.
So
why am I so comfy being a unicorn?
No, now they know why. Now they know why.
Now we know why.
He just got
because I'm a whore for attention and approval.
Wow, the places I could go with that one. Anyway, let's move on. Ooh, okay. You're a whore for attention.
Well, think back to all the times in youth group. Okay.
That's not hard.
Okay, I tried to make a spectacle of myself.
Try?
Okay, I made a spectacle of myself.
There you go.
Youth group was not what Rod had hoped it would be for us.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely not.
For everyone, it was a social group. For Rod, our youth leader, youth pastor, he was actually, really trying to make us good Christian people. And nobody
at the time,
nobody else follows Christianity whatsoever. None of the girls.
Remember what you're saying, honey.
What?
So just remember what you're saying, honey. You don't know whom I see it. Kirk tends to open his mouth. Huh?
What am I saying is bad?
Nothing. I'm just reminding you. Filter.
I'm not saying anything bad.
So, the funny thing is that as far as that goes, so I actually came from a very devout Catholic upbringing. My mother is actually devout Roman Catholic. She still practices to this day. And one of the things that is sort of interesting is she actually did not like this youth group. And part of it had to deal with the fact that it was actually at a Baptist church. And so she thought she had some thoughts, I think, that that I was getting corrupted because of this association. But in reality, it gave us an outlet, and keep in mind, I mean, the area that we lived in didn't really have a YMCA that I know of. It didn't really have a lot of places for kids to go do something other than, hanging out at the pizza parlor or whatever. So the activities that we were given, and the activities that we did, I mean, there was, invasion of the body snatchers and stuff like that on New Year's Eve. I mean, this church realistically went all out for a lot of us and gave us an outlet, to be able to get together and there was some worship, there was some, there was communication, there was songs and things that you would normally expect with a religious driven group like that. But I think it also gave us an opportunity to all get together and have some good, clean fun. And that's actually what I kind of got out of it. I mean, I won't say that I'm not religious. I mean, I have my beliefs. You have yours. Everybody else has theirs. But the key here, though, is that, especially in that time frame, in that time frame, it was, the 80s, the middle to late 80s. Drugs were really starting to kick off. Gangs were really starting to kick off. It gave us all a place to an outlet to provide us good, clean fun in a very safe environment. I mean, nobody ever felt like they were, in trouble at all. So I think it did its purpose. And if Rod really didn't want it to be that way, I think that if you're of the belief that God enacts his will, I think it ended up exactly how he wanted it. So there you go.
Okay. Do you recall the Canada trip?
Oh, absolutely. I recall the deer that we hit on the Canada trip too.
That was to Bend.
Oh, that was to Bend. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So first, the Bend trip. Church van full of kids, driving along, going down to Central Oregon, and we hit a deer. And what's the one word everybody in the van said? Oh shit! I'm sure Rod said it too.
Oh well, who was driving? I can't remember.
Rod was driving.
Rod was driving.
It was either Rod or Dennis.
Yeah, I know Dwight was in there with us too, but yeah, it could have been.
I thought it was like Rod and Lee in the front seats, and all the kids were in the van, but some people were. You just said his name, Dennis and
Dwight.
God, Dwight's awesome. Dwight were following cars, I thought, but that doesn't matter.
Real quick, I want to thank Michelle for the super sticker. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Hey, I can thank her too, because hey, it's my appearance that she's putting that $10 forward. I feel like
I'll give you $1.50.
I feel like one of those ladies G strings, or the guys with the G strings. Standing on
Come on.
Sorry.
Okay, Canada trip. We had to derail, man. Focus.
I'm good at it.
Okay. I don't think we were taught or wanted to be taught the right way to be Baptist. Okay. Because you think about Footloose, they were Baptist, no dancing. Right? We were at a concert.
Oh, wait.
All of us. PJ.
Thank you, PJ. Oh, hugs and kisses.
Thank you.
Oh, love you.
We're not doing this for the money, but thank you.
No.
We're doing this for fun.
Hey, wait a minute. You may not be doing it for money, but I'm pouring myself out.
Sorry. I have a job. I'm paid well. I guess you're not paid very well.
Oh. Oh, boy. Let's not even go down that path.
Thank you, guys.
Well, you specialize. You probably make more than I do.
Well, I can tell you that if my particular job ever falls through, I will never make it as a Chippendale dancer. I'm sorry. I just cannot get the abs.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Derailed again. Damn it. Sorry. When we say Chippendales, I'm picturing Patrick Swayze, Chris Farley. I'm Chris Farley. Okay.
Just go with Magic Mike, will you? Just go with Magic Mike, all right?
I put it up there, but it would probably get me demonetized.
Probably. So, okay, the concert. We're all dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else around us is sitting. And we're telling everyone, come on, dance. And looking back on it now, it's like, oh, we weren't doing anything good at all. Dancing is bad. Okay, we should not have been dancing at that time. And it was very apparent.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I guess there were a lot of things. You remember on the trip down to Bend, Sun River, where we all went for a walk, and so it's all innocent, all right? So keep in mind, there's just a group of us, it's guys and girls, we're all together, we're in high school, We went out one night
Sorry.
and we laid down in the middle of the road, and it was in this new development. So there's like no cars. And I don't know if anybody has ever been out in the woods, like far away, or maybe not even in the woods, but just somewhere where you're far away from city lights. And that was the very first time that I have ever actually physically seen the Milky Way with my naked eye. So we're all there. There's probably, I don't know, about 8 of us, I guess, and we're all laying in the middle of the road here, and we're just laying there talking and laughing. Totally pitch black with the exception of the stars above us. And we get back because we'd been gone for, I don't know, something like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. But we got back, and do you remember when Rod and Dwight, maybe it was Dennis, but anyway, that they kind of laid into us.
I don't recall that.
Because I think they took us all aside, and they were just like, well, that wasn't very appropriate. You should have stayed here at the house. And I mean, that's about as laid into it as we were ever going to get out of those guys. But
right.
But anyway, they took us all aside. At least they did me, and they took me aside, and they were like, what were you guys doing out there? And I'm like, we're laying in the middle of the road, looking at the stars, talking and laughing. I mean, seriously, come on. And keep in mind, I mean, some of this stuff you got to understand. I'm not saying this to disparage them, because they had a job to do. They were responsible for us and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it didn't quite pan out the way that they were expecting it to. And mainly just because of the kids. But realistically, I mean, as far as the youth group went, we were a good bunch of kids. We really didn't do a whole bunch of stuff that was just off the wall, and we didn't try to like sneak alcohol or any of that stuff. I mean, we were just having fun.
Because how many parties at my house did you come to? Because there was, I have an older brother. He moved out, and then my dad and stepmother were going away almost every weekend for something. They got a free trip for timeshare crap.
Mm-hmm.
So you go on the free trip, you'll have sit through 3 or 4 hours presentation of timeshare, and then you go do your vacation. So there was a good month or 2 months where every weekend everyone was at my house having pizza and movies.
Oh,
never any alcohol.
Yep.
Never anything bad. Just having fun. And they never found out. And it was funny.
Seriously? Your parents never found out?
Never found out. I finally admitted it to them at... What's that noise? Oh, Derek doing a blender. Sorry. I hear noises and I'm trained to listen for odd noises.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to say it. You're hearing things. You're hearing noises. I mean, are we sure that you're mentally stable right now?
Shh, shut up. What?
Now, if you say that you start seeing dead people, I'm out of here.
Oh, no, they're alive. What are you talking about?
Great.
Where was I? I don't know. I was distracted. Oh my god, I'm getting old.
So one of these
train goes again.
One of these days, Kirk and I, you and I will have to do a how we met, and Kirk took me to your youth group. I think I met.
Oh God, the first night. Oh Jesus.
That's as far as we're going to say, but we'll discuss one night.
What we can do it right now. We can tone it.
I want.
What time is it?
Wait.
Okay, it's only been. Okay, it's been over an hour, hasn't it?
We're
an hour right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Does anybody want to hear it now or later?
Later, because I want to do a separate one between our, as a thing.
Fine.
Yeah. On a different note, but I mean, yes, I went to youth group with you guys.
Boy, I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, he was there, right, Kirk?
When did you?
No,
I don't think you were there.
I'm 3 years older than he is, and
That
I
doesn't
met
matter.
him when he was.
This was the fall after we graduated, so it was
no,
fall of
no.
'89.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so you
I went into the service in the first part of September of
So this was like, I think it was right after Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I wasn't there. I was gone by then, I think. Because we graduated in '89. That would have been at the late part of '89.
Yeah.
No, I would have. I didn't go to youth group anymore. That's what it was, because I didn't actually get into the service until '90. I was at Oregon State University at the time. That's what it was. See what happens? I mean, hey guys, it's this right here. This is bad. If there are any kids out there, it's bad. It make your head muy crazy.
What?
Anyway. Yeah, it's
what?
Okay.
103, baby.
Yeah, what you did is being.
All right. Well, Addie, I want to be respectful of your time here. I mean, obviously I've grabbed the channel and I've done all kinds of wonderful things here. I've embarrassed Kirk a little bit. But from that standpoint, I mean, do you need to shut this down at a certain time, or?
No, just it's been an hour.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's almost time for Fun Friday to begin for us. So.
And that's the whole purpose of this.
Okay, wait. Well, some people haven't seen this.
This,
okay.
This is to kick it off.
In case anybody is wondering what that is a
trouble with troubles. That's the trouble.
That's
you can hear it, right?
Ooh, wait.
Can you hear it?
Wait. Yes, we can. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this.
In the last live, when he was professing his undying love for me, that's the thing I held up in front of my face.
You know what? That actually, that's pretty cool. The whole undying love thing, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
I got to admit.
Speaking of last week, did anybody watch or look up that song?
Yes. Did anybody go and listen to the Home Free song we talked about in the last live? That little tiny clip I made.
Oh shoot! I can't switch it over. It won't let me switch it over. Ah, darn it! Here. We'll do it this way. Where did it go? Hold on. Yeah, here we go. We'll do it this way. Swap me around.
Okay.
Bring me up to the forefront.
Elevate me.
Yes, I am big. No, just kidding.
Oh, Lord.
Trying really hard. Here you go. Just for you, Kirk.
Cool. The refit.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm not as into it as you are, okay? I don't
know.
No,
there's people that are far more into it than I am. Like your brother Kyle. He can name, every class of ship there is. It's ridiculous. Your Kyle.
Yes.
I personally just thought it was cool. So
yes, no, it is.
There you go. And that actually was on a couple episodes ago. The Whiskey Musings kind of thing. So anyway.
So everybody, you hear how he talks. This is the kind of thought he puts into his own show tomorrow. Tomorrow. So
I can go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, if you could check out, just you don't have to be there live, but it would help if they had more conversation going on than just me.
What I'll do, guys, is I will tweet out. I'll retweet his tweet, so whoever follows me on my Twitter will get his link to his YouTube. He is also on the front of this channel. He's on the right side. You can subscribe to him there. It's
Hey, no telling him I'm on the right side. Okay.
Oh, well, I don't.
I mean, you never know. I could be, left of center. Or
And then,
middle of top.
No, you're middle of bottom right now.
Yeah. I am middle bottom. Anyway, no. So just real quick. I mean,
Michelle was there.
if I can again bust in, take control for just a quick second. So yes, I do have a channel. It is basically my thoughts, because the tagline is, when I drink, I think. And this is actually really true, because I mean, one of my favorite things to do is sit in front of a campfire with some whiskey and just sit and contemplate about all kinds of different things. So what I did is I decided to create sort of a talk show channel. And I have, I think, 9 episodes. I think next week is going to, or this tomorrow is going to be the 10th episode. But anyway, so what I do is I get online and I talk, and obviously Addie and Captain Kirk are devout followers of mine. If I ever make it 100% big, I guarantee I'm flying you guys to the award show. But from that standpoint, I spend the time, I kind of come up with the topics, I bring them online, and I also have a call-in option. And basically what this does is this allows people to call in sort of like a radio talk show, in calling in and discussing things. I put you on the air live. And then I also try and interact with the chat. But you know what? Being a one-man band, it is difficult to keep up with all of the stuff that's going on. But anyway, so I really appreciate Addie. I appreciate the time. I appreciate, everything you've been doing to promote, the Whiskey Musings channel. I'm very fledgling. I think I have maybe 7 or 8 subscribers right now. It is something that I would like to see catch on. I'm hoping that the conversations, the topics are relevant, to most people. I did get, I started off with some very deep topics in the beginning, and then I've lightened things up a little bit as much as I can anyway. But anyway, so I do appreciate the shout out. I appreciate you guys being there, helping to push the show along, because it's just, it's a little rough when you don't have a lot of interaction. So anyway.
I try and talk every week.
Oh, yes. Actually, he does, Michelle, in Ohio. Captain does try to talk every week. And he actually, he does a really good job too. So I'm very...
Yeah, I try and tone down the Kirkness and try and be a regular person, because I don't want to overshadow him. Not that I could. But yeah, for here, I am me, you get me. On his show, you get civil me.
Oh, so Michelle, you're asking about the topic this week. So this week's topic is actually a recommendation by another friend of mine, another high school friend of mine, who listens, and he is a devout listener. He's another guy that I will probably bring to the award show. Anyway, so the topic this week basically is going to be discussing things that you see people do in public that make you go, what? So anyway, it's in terms of this particular topic, it's just trying to get some people talking about some of the stuff that we see people do in public that maybe we're not quite used to. I mean, for an example, if Kirk were to run around in his unicorn outfit out in public, like go to Walmart, as an example, in the there's your idea, Kirk. Next week, I want video. But anyway, so yeah, something like that. Things that you see people do in public that are you're just looking at them and going, what in the heck are you doing? That's the whole point. So Tracy, thank you very much. I appreciate the subscription. This is awesome.
No, and if I were to go out, I would have, one of my little Bluetooth speakers playing my Friday night music along with me and trying to,
you've
white man dance my way through it.
You've opened up the door. What is your Friday night music? But before you answer that, I do want to give a shout out. Thank you, Poetic Justice. I appreciate it. I know that a lot of Addie's subscribers are on the East Coast. I apologize for the 8 p.m.
Or Europe.
But it just makes more sense. Or Europe. That's true. East Coast or Europe. But it just makes sense for me to be able to do the show. I started trying to do it on Friday nights, and it just didn't really work out. And Saturday night just fit better with my family and my schedule and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so Kirk, you were gonna say what music? What music?
Oh.
Come on.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Music.
I'll try not to play anything because I have it on my YouTube music. Okay, okay. It all started was about a year ago now. Honey?
I'm sorry, I was reading. Sorry.
La la la. We started doing this about a year ago, right?
Yes.
A year ago?
What? The lives?
No, the Friday nights.
Oh.
When did we first? Because the first music we started with was Eisenfunk, goth cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Okay. We like some weird stuff.
Yeah, Derek, our son introduced me to Mongolian street or Mongolian.
No. A friend from work shared it to me on YouTube, on Facebook.
No, I meant the Mongolian throat singing. Then
that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh.
The friend shared it to me, and we heard it. Because has anybody heard of the Who? Not the HWO, but the HU. Because
that right there.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Sorry.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, they're saying hi, honey. Oh, well, hey, come on. Okay. All right. So wait, stay right there for just a second. All right. So everybody is obviously with the current conditions that we have, everybody is concerned about our seniors. So I am going to show you my senior. I'm very proud of this young gentleman. He has a cool soccer career that he's really started out, but I just want to bring him in. So this is my son, Christian. So come on in here. You can see yourself. There he is.
Hi, Christian.
Good to see you.
Of course, you can't hear me.
He can't hear them. He just said hi. So anyway, so that's my son. Obviously, he's taller than me. He's better looking. I won't say he's smarter because he hasn't quite gotten his brains yet. That doesn't happen until 27. So, or at least sometime after the age of 27. I won't say when because it's different for everybody. But anyway, so yeah. And I also have a daughter. He's his younger sister. She is absolutely beautiful, smart as a whip. She's kind of got my personality, which is wonderful. She's got her mother's looks, which is even better. But yeah, she is a dancer and she is always active and academically inclined. She's so very, very proud Papa here. As I look at both of them and go, man, they're going to eclipse me over time, but whatever. That's what parenting is all about, right?
Yeah, I've watched a few of her little things that you guys put up, and I come from a background with 3 brothers who are professional ballet dancers. And so when I see her, her form is spectacular. My brother would have loved to have her as a partner.
Well, you know what's funny about her is that she's unfortunately very type A. She is a complete perfectionist. And if she doesn't do it right, she will basically kill herself to get to that point of perfection. And unfortunately, that has a double-edged sword. I mean, it's great for somebody who does the things that she does because she wants to make things perfect. But the sad part about that is that she puts so much time and energy and effort into being perfect that she can tend to overexert herself. Like she went through a knee surgery here not too long ago, and she was so raring to go to get back into it that some of the doctors and the physical therapists were a little concerned about her pushing it so much that she would be able to get back and heal correctly and everything else. But she's done fine. She's back at it. And she's, I think she's going to go real far. I think
I do.
My son's going to go real far. So we'll just have to kind of see. He's going to be studying once he gets out of high school. He's going to be studying to be a kinesiologist. And for those of you that don't know, that's the study of the human body and how it moves.
Ooh.
So he's going to be focusing on that. He's already made mention about how he is thinking of going into being a chiropractor. So he's kind of focused on that for right now, but he's a good soccer player. He loves the game. He does quite well. He can play in almost any position that he wants to. But his favorite and where he currently is sitting is center back. And unfortunately, one of the things that he likes about center back is he's one of the larger center backs in the league. And so he's able to knock some of the other guys around. But anyway.
That's always fun.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Christian.
What group likes chiropractors? Mormons?
Well, yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay. So he needs to live where there are a lot of Mormons.
Oh, well, that covers us.
They are big into chiropractors.
Yeah, that covers us. That really does. We have, between the Mormons and the Lutherans, that covers about 90% of our population on the island that we live on.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, so I see in the chat, somebody asked if I think it's me. Do I do live? Absolutely.
Wait, here, let me see.
Or they're talking about poetic.
They may have been talking to one of our chatters. They're talking in the chat. They're talking about Big Brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They wanted to do a chat so they can all get together and talk. You guys can always use those. You can use the Discord, and we can create a thing just for Big Brother on there if you want me to. Let me know, and you guys can use that as a chat place. We can always, just in case you guys want that, let me know on Discord.
Yeah. I think we're boring people now. Well, it's been over an hour, and attention span's not that long.
So,
not to mention the fact
that about to snap.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can see in the chat that things are starting to sort of go other ways, which is cool. I mean, that's great. They're having their own conversations in the background, but anyway, so
okay, Kiki, and I'll create a Discord there. Anything else? If you guys want me to do something else, a room or whatever, I can do that as well. Okay. I want to thank Rick. This was awesome. I want to thank all of our chatters, and it was a great night. And we will all see you next. Remember, first, anybody who has not subscribed, go over to Whiskey Musings and subscribe.
And just watch his archive stuff. You don't have to be there live, but just give him some views.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Demanding.
I am begging. I'm done.
I leave right now. I leave his channel on and just let it go, and it just goes from one of his shows to the next one, and he gets views that way. So anything I can do to help.
Yeah. So just in final thoughts here, just thank you very much, Addie, for having me on. This was a absolute pleasure. I had fun doing it. If you want, we can do this again sometime. And to all of her fans out there, I know that we started off talking trials and took it off in another direction. I promise you next time I will try and do my best to at least be a little more versed in trials. Maybe I'll take a look at some of those trials and we can actually kind of dissect them.
I was thinking about coming up with some info sheets that we could read off of, and then we could discuss, because I can create some fact sheets and stuff for some of the trials or whatever. And we could just, a quick, I call it.
Wait. You mean planning and preparation? That's just weird.
That's how you. If I don't remember stuff. I have a very small memory.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm sure that's fun.
Well, for any other night. It doesn't have to be on a Friday night. It can be any other night if you wanted to do it on like a trial night. This night we talk trials for a half hour or something. Whatever you want to do.
Well, absolutely, whatever works out. I mean, I'm more than willing to. Obviously, I'm more than willing to add my personality to any sort of mix.
And the fact that you like trials and stuff is awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, Captain Kirk, I salute you.
They don't salute in Star Trek.
That's okay. I'd give you another salute, but it wouldn't be appropriate for TV.
Okay.
You're welcome. Anyway, thanks, guys. Kick off your fun Friday.
Thank you, everybody.
Take
Talk to
care.
you.
Love you. See you all next week.